Day 37 of 50 Days of Trash, and we are in the home stretch. 2 weeks left, and then we're done. And so I'm starting to get to some of the heavier things now. And this is, I've alluded to this before, but today we are focused on medical stuff again. So we'll start with this. I don't know if you can see this. When I was doing triathlon and a lot of endurance sports, one of the things you have to worry about is losing your electrolytes when you're out. If you are in prolonged activity, I was doing marathons, I was doing 100-mile, 120-mile bike rides, I was swimming a few miles, and so you can really get messed up if your electrolytes get off. So you have to really watch your water, and you have to watch making sure that you're getting enough electrolytes. And so because of that, I would buy electrolyte supplements, and I would take those while I was engaging in those activities. And so I haven't done triathlon at least since I had my cancer surgery, which was almost 5 years ago, and actually a couple of years before that, because I had switched into other things that I was doing more. So I've had this one, and so like electrolytes, I mean, it's like salt, it's different kinds. It's salt. It's not only salt, but that's basically what it is. It's kind of like minerals. And so you would think that they would never expire, but they do expire. This one expired in 2021. And this one expired in 2014. And so those are going in the trash. They're just, it's something I can just dump in the trash, and then I'll recycle the bottles that they're in. And I found yet another tube. This is BioFreeze, again, for muscle aches and all that stuff when you're doing that. And this expired, I think it was in 2012, it looks like, 2012. And here's another. These are actually, it says carb disc, again, for when you're doing endurance running, endurance biking, all those kinds of things. Sometimes you will you just kind of run out of nutrients, and it's really kind of a funny feeling. It happens all at once, and if you do that, you need something like pretty quick, or you can be in a pretty bad way. So we'd carry these things around. These are carb disc, and you would pop a couple in your mouth, and it would kind of get your blood sugar back up and kind of take care of that. And so this is a little plastic tube. Again, this is something that I can throw away, and so I'm going to throw them in the trash and put the plastic tube in recycling. So now we're getting to kind of obscure things. So this, and I got to tell you, it was sort of hard to do this, but this is, I had, God, it's been a long time ago, more than 20 years ago, maybe even more than that. I wanted to get my teeth whitened. And so at the time, they didn't do the strips and everything like we do now. You would get some, it's not a retainer, but it's sort of like a mouth guard, and you would mold it to your teeth, and then you would put the solution in there and wear them for a while. So I had to go and get those made, and so they made cast of my teeth to do that. And I've had this all these years, and I don't know why I need it. So these are going to go in the trash. There's part of me thinking to myself, I wonder if I should ask the dentist about this before I do it. It's always this, that little guy in your brain, Oscar's like, oh God, are you really sure you need to throw that away? But it's not like they can't. So of course, one of the other things is this was made so long ago. Since then, I've had a couple of teeth that I had to get caps on, and I had to, you know, I've had other dental work done. So these wouldn't even work anymore. I mean, you wouldn't be able, they're not the same as me anymore. So anyway, they're gonna go, it's gonna be hard to do that, but I'm gonna put them in the trash. This is a knee brace. I have had 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 knee surgeries, maybe 6. And this was after I had this one for a while. After I had my ACL reconstruction, they gave me this one. And actually after the ACL reconstruction, they said you can wear that for a while. After that, you shouldn't need it anymore. In fact, it would almost be better to not wear it. But it's like that. What if I get injured? What if my knee gets messed up? And so I've had it all these years, and I've had to wear it a few times. But it is worn out. I mean, the pieces of it are coming off. It might be repairable, but I don't really need it. It's also not something that I think another person can very easily wear because they're usually fitted. I mean, they come and they take measurements and they make sure. You do have some adjustment here, but the size of it and everything else is individual. And so I think I may double check and make sure that a medical charity can't use it. But if they can't use it, I'm going to put it in the trash. So sort of along the same lines, I had a torn fascia at one point, and so I had to wear this boot for quite a while my fascia repaired. And I don't know if you ever had a torn fascia, but they're very painful. And it took a while for us to figure out I had a torn fascia. They didn't realize that's what I had at first. And so, again, this is sort of a special boot. It has a little pump there and all of those things to keep it extra tight. And that might be reusable. So I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna see if they can use it. If they can't use it, I'm probably gonna put it in the trash. Okay, so I've alluded to this a few times. After my surgery, I had to give myself a shot. I had to give myself a shot periodically, and I did that for quite a while. And then I had to have a follow-up medical procedure. And to do the follow-up medical procedure, I had to quit taking these. So I ended up with leftover. So these are kind of different because the medicine is in the syringes. So it's like one unit. It's not something you draw up. And so that's one of those things. I wasn't exactly sure what to do with it. And it says that these should be thrown out in 2021. So I think I can just throw this in the trash since they are self-contained. I think that would be okay. So I'm probably going to put those in the trash. But that wasn't the only syringes I had. I had to give myself lots of different shots of different things for different times. And so I have a bunch of leftover syringes. And those syringes, I don't know if they can reuse them, but I'm going to take them over and see if they can't be reused. I'm not really quite sure what to do with them. They have the caps on them, so it may be safe to just stick them in the trash. I think before when I did this, what they had me do with them, and I could do this, is they'd say keep a milk jug or keep something like that, and then put the used ones in a milk jug or in something like a plastic container, and then seal it off. And they even recommended that you tape off the top of it and put them like that. And so I could do that, which would be extra special safe. Since these have the caps on them and they haven't been opened, I think they could probably go right in the trash. But again, another thing I may do is my grandson is a diabetic, and he has an insulin pump, so normally he doesn't need syringes, but they do need them. I mean, the insulin pump doesn't take care of everything, and so he may need them, and I don't know if this is the right size for him, but I'll probably, before I throw them in the trash, double check and make sure that they can't use them. And then I have some more syringes. And I don't think my grandson can use these. I mean, they're sterile syringes, so it's not like they can't be used, but these were syringes given to me for my dog. My dog also, the last several months of his life, he was a diabetic and he had to get insulin shots. And so I was given these for his insulin. So I've got a bunch of leftover syringes. We're going to find out about those. And here's the big one. I've shown you some of these before, but I guess I didn't show you all of them. I mentioned that I had to self-catheterize myself. Each one of these is a catheter. And so every time you had to pee, you would use this. And so as you can imagine, you had to do that several times a day. So I have this box, but I don't know if you can see this. This is a box of catheters. And in that box, there are 9 additional boxes like this of catheters. And those, I've had them for years now. I think that those can be used. They would, I would get a box of these, 1 or 2 at a time, 1 or 2 boxes like this at a time, about once a month. Because I know it seems like a lot, but I mean, if you think about it, you pee probably, let's say that everything is ideal. If everything's ideal, you're probably peeing about every couple of hours. And so I would do this all day, and then at night, I wore a catheter. Not always, but sometimes I did. And so these would come, and so if you do, say, 5 or 6 a day, you go through these pretty fast. So if you're wondering what to do with stuff like this, I have to look up their address again, but there are organizations. One is like Doctors Without Borders, and there are some other organizations like that do sort of like charity medical work, and they sometimes they can take a lot of this stuff and they can use it, and so obviously it has to be. It can't have been opened, it has to be in good shape, it can't have expired, any of those kinds of things, but sometimes this is the kind of stuff that they can use. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive over there and I'm going to see if they can take it. And if they tell me for some reason it can't be used anymore, even though it's kind of hard to do, I'm going to throw them in the trash. So pretty big one today. This is all sort of medical stuff, but it's been here, the boot has been here for, I don't know, probably almost 10 years. This has definitely been here for at least 10 or 15 years. These for almost 5 years. And, I don't know why I'm keeping it. It's like, I'm just going to get rid of it. We're going to get rid of this trash. And so this is a pretty big one. It's amazing. I could still spend another day probably in that one closet. as you might have been able to surmise. It's where a lot of stuff goes when it's like, oh, I don't know exactly what to do with this, and you throw it in there. And so that's it. So that's day 37, 50 days of trash. Kind of a long one. Apologize for that. We're in the last 2 weeks, so we will continue throwing things out here, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow for day 38. If you know other people who are trying to figure out what to do with all their trash, maybe they'd like to watch some of these, and maybe you can share them. If you enjoyed it, if you don't mind clicking like, and if you want to follow along, you might even subscribe. I have a playlist, 50 Days of Trash, that you can watch on, and that about wraps us up. So hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for day 38. Take care.